Time heals all wounds. My surrender from job searching. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks not having a job. It's like I had a good amount of my purpose fulfillment condoned through my work. And having done work that I actually cared about, work that I knew was fulfilling, and work that actually served society. Alone being bagger boy stuff. So it's like, I enjoyed the journey of that. I enjoyed being in servitude. I love the uniform. I love the management. I loved the environment. I loved the work itself. I loved being a associate clerk. And it made me feel really good about myself. So to not have that was really bummy. It really took a toll on me to not be able to do that anymore. And it it just it sucks not having it anymore in my life. I missed it. It was like 4 to 6 years of some of the most, sometimes intense, sometimes overwhelming, but still fulfilling work nonetheless. I keep saying that word. It felt good. I unironically loved being a bottom rung worker. Can you imagine? So good. And so being without that for over a year and a half really took a toll on my psyche and my mental health. I had to adjust to it over time. Not that I wanted to be used to that, but I had to. So it was necessary to grow as a person. To deal with that sucked a lot. So I can imagine what the job market is telling people if you can't easily get a job. It's either to A, try harder, noob, or B, live your life without a job as if you don't need one. And I think B has a very peculiar routine. It's like you could, ideally, you could make money off of YouTube for those of you who can monetize your channels right away, and then just deal with that alone. And then even if you're not an introvert, right? Even if you're not an introvert and you still want to socialize and get out of the house, then yeah, go do events with the money you have from YouTube money, monetization, AdSense, and then get that out of the way. Sponsorships, you name it, affiliate. And it's imaginably weirder when you have to like constantly advocate yourself, because in adulthood you're doing that anyways, right? In adulthood you're constantly advocating for yourself to work towards your goals and seek out what you want and work hard to be with your friends, even though it was easy when you were a kid. So getting that through off my chest, to say it like that. People who don't want to have to do that though, they kind of have to anyways, obviously. So my point is, these are things we miss when we grow up, when we wanted to just have a life, and that includes when you have a job. When you have a job, you don't realize losing it can be that much big of a deal. So it doesn't have to be like that, but it's still a journey, right? So my journey leading me to the point where I didn't have to realize what it was like to lose a job was very interesting. It was very fascinating. Losing a job and having to endure that, even though my job was stressful to the point where I didn't always want to go to work, it still meant, because I loved my work, but it was stressful sometimes, right? Every once in a while. It was on the weekends, I still didn't have to deal with it, but I had to, paradoxically speaking. And it's just, can you imagine, like, wanting to go back to work after dealing with that for so long, and then still wanting to go back to work after having that job for 6 years in a row, and then wanting the job only a year or two in, of not having the job? Sucks. The paradox, the irony of not having a job and then wanting it again. So I have every once in a while succumbed to doing job searches because I still break out of the pattern of surrender from job searches. I did say I was doing that, but I had to break out of the pattern. I broke out of the pattern every once in a while because I meant to actually do something about it. Because complete surrender wouldn't be ideal anyways. Of not wanting to get a job, or not thinking that getting a job at the rate of being rejected too many times is a good idea. If that makes sense. I think it's like, you get rejected so many times and you still have to be persistent. But what if surrender is really key? And spiritually speaking, that's already a good thing for me, to surrender that and be meditative and be calm where I am and be grateful for where I am, even though it's so hard sometimes. There are mornings where I'm anxious, and there are days where I'm happy in the morning, and then it fades away and goes to depression again throughout the middle of the day. And those are the days I suck. I mean, this morning I managed to be happy in the morning after drinking coffee and eating a breakfast burrito and watching YouTube on my iPad. So I managed to succumb to that. I do that every once in a while. I'll be happy at home, and I just need to maintain the mood and notice how I feel. And it can't always be perfect, and that's okay. It's not gonna always be able to be perfect, where I can't just be happy all the time. But having done job searches so many times in the past, where I didn't know how to just let go and let the reins be free, and then just be like, okay, I can't get a job now. Let it go, Tony. And it sucks. Because when I surrender from it, I feel better, but it also sucks because then it makes me feel like I'm not doing anything in my life. And it makes me feel hard on myself. I get hard on myself a lot of times for things I don't even have to even do in the first place. Because I have to have boundaries for some things. But everything else I'm responsible for, like duties around the house and my own mental, emotional well-being, that's stuff I have to handle and be able to handle and do so with practice. So it's a lot of burden sometimes to have to handle the human body the way it is, and my emotional growth as a person and adult nowadays, since I'm 29, can't be any less of a full-ass grown adult. Because when people tell me that when I'm younger, my dad one time said I was a full-ass grown adult at age 20. No way. That's 2 years into the actual thing. But I still feel like a kid back then. I still feel younger now. I feel younger now than I did back then. But it makes more sense to call me a full-ass adult. So it makes more sense to call me one, since I legitimately embody that energy anyways. But I don't feel like one yet. And it makes sense to say it like that. Because to me, it's like, if I don't feel like an adult, why should I pretend that I'm hiding from it? If that makes sense. Like, there is the indulgence to not want to be an adult when you're already 18, and the neglect from that, and the shame. But I didn't feel that. I didn't even know I was an adult. There's a quote that says, "You never feel like an adult even if you already are one." It's like you never realize you become an adult until you accept that you are one, because you never feel like you are an adult. So it's like, that's the saying, at least, as I would think of it. But so having to adjust to adulthood, having to see if I can handle these emotions and my emotional well-being when I'm adapting to things like not having a job yet and not having a fulfilling purpose, that's haunting. That makes me feel like I'm a failure. That I can't just seize a job and be happy for once. And how I can handle myself at home, if I can't even do that, then what makes you think I can have a job? That kind of daunting self-doubt and self-loathing. Which I didn't even know I felt that way before. And I wouldn't have to know the difference. So what do I mean when I say time heals all wounds? Some people say that you need effort with time for it to work, and I have a bit of a beg to differ with that. You don't need to already understand what time's doing for you to heal from it, to heal from the time that you have to heal the wounds from. I think the time will heal your wounds because it's already giving you energy that you're being patient with the process, and that's a good enough way to see it. You don't need to already know how to put that into action. If it's already serving you, don't feel pressure to do something about it. In my opinion, I think that's what's happening. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to heal the wounds because you're processing it over time. Because you remember why I made this comment so many times already on this channel? Remember when I said life comes in layers? That's basically what I mean. It's like you give it time and energy to put patience in perspective that is going to heal no matter what, because you gave it a chance to do so. And you don't get that from being forcefully thinking, I need to do something and actively be in action mode for it to work. Because that's already too much energy in the wrong direction. I mean, in my opinion, it would just be too shameful. It wouldn't have to work. And it doesn't have to be like that anyways. Time does heal wounds. And it's a good thing that it does. Because if you had to always do something about it, it would be too forceful in the first place. I'm saying this for the well-being and own good of how that would work. It's a patient shamanistic practice, in my opinion, to be able to surrender that at least, let alone my job searches. Yikes. But yeah, it just, I can't, I lose myself sometimes. I want to surrender as best I can from job searching so I don't get desperate for a job, but then I don't know what to do at home. And then I'm like, well, I'm patient listening to YouTube videos. Why can't I just do more of that? But it's usually a guide. I don't know what to do in my life if I'm not listening to YouTube. So I get scared when I'm alone in my room during the day without anything playing in the background, because I'm like, I can meditate and then go back to watching YouTube videos. That would be nice if I just meditated in the middle of the quiet. So far, the videos like these are already helpful enough to meditate without a video playing. But I'm still talking in the meantime, so it's like whatever. But I lose myself too much to the point where I want to surrender from the job searches, but then I don't because I look for a job, obviously. And I look for a job, I'm like, wait, I need to have this job or I won't feel good about myself. But that's not true. That's obviously not true. I've been happy before without a job. I've been happy since then, recently, without a job. So what makes me think I can't maintain that? Even though days come where I still feel scared and anxious and depressed and despondent and very much gloom and doom, it's still possible to be consistently happy without a job. Even though money implies that I need to spend it eventually to have vibrational distance from the wrong kind of vibrations. Because there's a saying that you don't maintain vibration with money by keeping it. You maintain it by already spending some of it and not having a huge clasp and grasp at money to not want to lose it all the time. Because the vibration makes it hard to keep the money. But that's money manifestation practices. That's what they say. Is like, it's very mysterious. It's like you don't know what keeps money better than already spending it, but at the same time, you're not trying to spend it to keep it. That's not the async that people are talking about. They mean that if you keep money too much, you lose balance over keeping it steady because it's too grasped. It's too grasped and clasped. I mean, but it's too much energy being and pressure put into not letting yourself keep the money. It's a very interesting energy. It doesn't want to stay in place all the time. But if you lose some of it, it doesn't mean you can't keep it. Even if you lost it on an accident, obviously, not without spending it. That's the energy of money. So, I'm lost. I'm lost. And that's okay. I am lost. And I want to be lost because I can't find myself if I'm not. And that doesn't start to sound too immature to put perspective, right? I want to be lost because I can't find out who I am if I'm not. And they're obviously even as simple as the Albert Einstein saying that someone who has never made a mistake never try anything new. I want to be that kind of risk taker. I want to be someone who can try new things and not be afraid of being themselves. That's the confidence and joy I can bring to my life sometimes. I can do that successfully if I'm not worried about every single move I'm taking. So surrender from job searches has been part of that. The time does heal those wounds. And I have to say that for myself because it's a long journey. I do feel good every once in a while. This morning, thank gosh I feel good because I couldn't handle it without otherwise. I couldn't just be like, well, I'm going to feel good no matter what or I'll die or I won't want to stay alive. It's like, that's not a good thought process to have. Not to mention it's not realistic. I'm going to be depressed every once in a while. It has to come back. Those are feelings that have to come back, even if I'm very happy in the meantime. Because they put into perspective what I'm feeling at any given moment. Those feelings are a part of who I am naturally and humanistically, whether I like it or not. And I have to embrace that better if I can, for the best of me. So, in perspective of that, do I want to have a job to be happy? Of course I do. But it's not the only way I can be happy. It has to be done very delicately, without dependence or desperation for one. I have to be okay with who I am. Time does heal all wounds. There's no getting around that. And I will find my happiness someday I'll be able to be happy. I just need to be okay where I am, shamanistically meditating in place, listening to YouTube video for a guide, and several dozen more to come. Because I do that traditionally in the morning and the afternoon for my own well-being, and I try to find out, like I said in videos before, how do I vibe and chill? How do I feel good in my own skin? What makes me truly happy, even if it's too much effort being put into place? That kind of energy. I feel good. I do feel happy. I do know what it's like to be happy. So I can't pressure that too much. I have my own journey to go on, whether I like it or not. I have to be patient with that. It's only my own journey that I have to deal with. No one else's. They cross paths. We cross paths. But we're not in vain from that. So I thank you for following me on this journey of mine. Being able to see this from hindsight also helps. Because I watch my own videos, obviously. And just... Dude, I can't imagine, like being already successful and not know how to live. Like, what kind of life would that be? Like, being already successful, having money, having people who apparently do love you, and then you still don't know how to survive in your own lifestyle. Whereas I'm still struggling, emotionally, particularly. And at least I know that I have a plan. And I'm still trying to succeed. So being hopeful for my soul, being able to succeed for my own reasons, that kind of thing, that keeps me going. Knowing that I do have ideas and plans and goals and dreams and desires and practices and put into place. That perspective gives me peace. I love being on my own side. And that makes me happy. And I know I can be happier than this. But I just need to be consistent. So, once again, thank you for watching. Time heals all wounds. My surrender from job searching. This has been a good experience for me. It sucks. It hurts. I'm dying sometimes and suffering on the inside for a better life and a metamorphosis for what's to come. But it has to happen. And if I can't deal with it, no one else can. But I know I can handle it. So, it's been Odd Crossroad, everyone. See you in the next video. I'm going to do more vlogs and casual discussions about stuff like this again. I'll do more nighttime videos. Those were fun. Nighttime videos, and I'll use more anime wallpapers for thumbnails. I suck at making those. I really suck at making thumbnail designs. I can't make them myself anymore because my text and my pictures don't look any good for actual attraction. Even though the anime wallpapers I use don't look like they make sense for a video I make, especially for the length. But I work with them because I like them. So, end card content. Hello. This is Otto Crosswind. I make 2D animation and claymation and once in a while as a treat. And it's still supposed to be content. But I do vlogs most of the time and casual discussions. So, what is what it is. Take care, everyone.